Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pitatvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakhatvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. Today going to discuss some of the questions that are raised in relation to self-realization. These I've been posting in most of the Facebook lists, and some questions have been raised, and we'll address some of them. And the most important is, what is real? Is the world real or not? So reference to example we gave about the gold and the gold ornaments, and pot and clay versus pot. This is coming from the Chandogya Upanishad. And the iron and the iron tools, those are three examples that are given in the Chandogya. Yada saumya ekena lohamanina sarvam lohamayam vijñāta vacharambanam vikaro namadheyam. So the way it says in that is, the proposition or the whole chapter starts with the questioning: if I know one thing, can I know everything else? So the student, his own son, the Swetaketu, after coming from the Gurukula, spending maybe 12 years or so, and studying all the Vedas, and comes back and he thinks he knows everything. So the father looks at him and says, we should put him in place. So he says, Beta, have you learned, Saumya means my good looking son, have you learned, knowing which you know everything? That means Eka Vijnanena Sarva Vijnanam Bhavati. Knowing one, you should know all. And Swetaketu says, I don't think that's possible. I never learned that one, and I don't think my teacher also doesn't know. So his arrogance, because if he knows, he would have taught me. So he concludes the teacher also didn't know, and it's not possible. For that, Uddalaka gives, that his father, teacher, gives three examples, and one of them is the gold example. It says, Ekena lohamanina sarvam lohamayam vijñāta. By knowing one, Eka vijnanena, by knowing one, I know everything. That's a proposition. So looking at one ornament, if I know the essence of that ornament, then I know all ornaments in essence. I may not know the particulars of each ornament, but in essence I know. That is a statement. And he gives an example of clay also. If I know clay, all the products of the clay as well I know. If I know the wrought iron, I know all the tools made of wrought iron. So at that time they used to have a nail cutter. So ekena naka nekuntanena sarvam kashnayasam vijñāta. Kashnayasam means black iron. So they didn't have stainless steel at that time, but they had nail cutters made of wrought iron. So examples are saying that essentially, if I know one, I know everything. What is that one? That has to be the cause, the material cause, not the intelligent cause. If I know goldsmith, I won't know the ornaments. But if I know the ornament from which from gold it came, by gold it sustained, into gold it goes back. So therefore, all gold products are nothing but the gold only in different names and form. Each product is different. So now, what is real is a question that was posed. And statement is Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadheyam. So Namadheyam, the name that is given for each ornament, is only to distinguish Vacharambanam, to distinguish by speech wise. By means name is different. Why name is different? Its form is different. Why form means form includes the rupam, what is called rupam is form. Form includes colors and also all other attributes of the object that the senses can give. So he is giving only example of rupam. Rupam is a form that can be seen by the eyes. Eyes can only see form and colors. And nose can only smell. And ears can only hear. And the tongue can only taste. Of course, the tongue can also talk. And the skin can by sense of touch, it knows the what it is touching. See, the mushnam is hot, cold, all that. So each sense organ operates in a particular area. In fact, in the Panchadasi, the chapter 1 analyzes all these aspects in the chapter 1 that we have taken. But every sense organ has its field. So, Sabda, Sparsa, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Sabda is sound. So, sound is a property of the space. So, spatially, I can determine where the object is based on just a sound. Hey, there's a distant, I think the aeroplane is coming. How do I know? I'm not seeing it. But from the sound, I think it is coming from this side, not from that side. So spatially, I can locate an object based on the sound. So they say essentially from the property of the sound, I can essentially determine the spatial coordinates. All the radar and all that are essentially byproducts of that. And from the base of the eyes, I can see colors and forms. So each one has a particular area, field of operation that we will be discussing in terms of pramana, the means of knowledge. So eyes can only means of knowledge for colors and forms. Nose is only a means of knowledge for smells. So nose cannot see and eyes cannot smell. So each field of operation of each sense is determined, and what they see is the attributes of the object. One object differs from the other object, therefore each object, even though they are all made up of gold, it has a name for a form. So ring is a name for the ringly form and of the gold only. So is ring real or not? That was the question posed, and statement is the questioner quotes the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, a very smart in that he says, one who sees ekatvam anupasyate, one who sees the oneness that pervades in the whole universe, then what is there for him to see? What is there for him to smell? What is there for him? So nothing of that, each sense organ's differentiation of sense organs has immaterial. That means he does not see. That says who? The one who sees oneness that pervades everything. So the goldsmith is the one, he sees how much amount of gold is there in the ornaments. You may bring varieties of rings and says all are rings, but for him it's only gold. He values each ring depends upon how much gold it has, because he has only gold vision. He doesn't care for the rings because he's going to melt all that and make something else. So when he buys gold to make new ornaments, he is not worried about what particular form of gold it is. So one who sees as an eyesight of only in the gold, ekatvam anupasyati, one who has the only vision of that which became many, the cause, not the effects. For him, the disparities has no meaning. Therefore, he does not see, means he does not recognize the importance for transactions, because he doesn't care. Who doesn't care? The one whose vision is in that oneness that pervades all gold ornaments. The one who has a jnani, who sees the oneness that pervades the whole universe, because these are examples only to illustrate, and the son says, I want to know more about it. What is that knowing which I will know everything? Because gold case, only gold ornaments I know. I won't know about iron ornaments because only I know gold, therefore I know gold ornaments. But what is that essence from which the whole universe is known? And that is how he introduces existence alone was the Sadeva Saumya Idamagramasid. What is that from which the whole universe came? A material cause. Gold is a material cause. Goldsmith is an intelligent cause. But in the case of the universe, material cause and intelligent cause both are one and the same. This is Nimitta Karanam, that is the intelligent cause. Upadana Karanam, the material cause is one and the same. That's called the undifferentiated Upadana Nimitta Karanam. That means only one cause for both. But here we are talking about the definition of Brahman based on the Upadana Karanam, a material cause. That's how they defined in the Upanishad, says you inquire into Brahman. That's Adhato Brahma Jigyasa. So what is the Brahman? He doesn't say in the Brahma Sutra the absolute statement. He gives you a statement. He says, Yato va imani bhutani jayante, ena jatani jivanti, yatrayam sabisham vishanti, tad vijnasasva, tad brahmiti. That is Brahman. What is the Brahman? From which the whole universe came, by which it is sustained, into which it goes back. That is the Brahman. From which all ornaments came, by which it is sustained. Sustained means it is adhishtanam, supporting. What is supporting? Not the goldsmith. Goldsmith, after making, he goes home. So it is the nimit, it is the upadana karanam that he is talking about. So the Brahman is defined using upadana karanam in the analysis. Because what I see is the world, but using the world I had to see the Lord, or I had to see the Brahman. That is the whole purpose of self-realization. Also involves, where looking at the world, I had to see that because of which I am able, the world is. From which it came, by which it is sustained, into which it goes back. That is the definition. So what is real and what is not real? That was a question posed. So without getting lost in the question. So what is real? Says, is a ring real or not? Is a bangle real or not? Is gold real or not? So someone asked me, sir, what do you want? So can you go and bring some gold from the other room? So he went and brought a ring. And not this, I want the other gold. What do you mean other gold? There are bangles, necklaces, bracelets, and bars also. What exactly you want? Tell me. Because this is also gold. So he went and brought a bar. No, not this one, the other gold. Sir, tell me what exactly you want. So for transactional purposes, I had to specify, bring a bar of gold, or bring a necklace, or bring a ring. I had to say, go and bring gold. I cannot say it. If I am goldsmith, I may not care, but I want to decorate myself, and I want to wear a ring as a ring, and a bangle as a bangle, and a necklace as a necklace. I cannot interchange. So for transactionals, I have to differentiate based on the attributes. Attributes means qualities, guna, and that belongs to each vyakti. Each ornament is different. So for transactional purposes, I have to differentiate one object from the other. Therefore, rings and bangles and a necklace are transactionally real, because a ring is different from a bangle is different from a necklace. So when I say what is real, says from plot reference. From transactionally, they are real, but from the absolute point, if I want to ekatvam anupasthiti, one I am seeing oneness that pervades everything. When I see from that reference, so you have to look at from what reference I am talking about one. Not from the transactional point, from the absolute point. So we are differentiating a transactional reality versus absolute reality. Are you interested in the transactional reality? The whole world is only operating at this level, where transactional real. So for me to transact in the world, I have to differentiate a garbage versus a food. I cannot say all are electrons and protons and neutrons. So from that I cannot see difference between a garbage and the food. I can eat anything. No, sir. Even though they are from the absolute point, they are all just but fundamentally same particles. For purpose of transactions, I had to eat only the delicious food and throw away garbage, because if I eat garbage, I'll suffer the consequence of that, because it's spoiled. So therefore, I had to be very careful in differentiating. Even though there is oneness that pervades, I had to, for transactional purposes, I had to see this is different, that is different, that is different. So when I say transactionally real, and that's what essentially called mithya. Mithya is transactionally real but not absolutely real. And the absolutely real is that which remains the same all the time. So that's what essentially we define the satyam. Satyam is truth. The absolute reality is that which doesn't undergo any change. Whereas bangle is not absolutely real, because it can change into a necklace when I destroy the bangle. So this transactional real is only transactionally real only, not absolutely real. And this is an understanding of a jnani when he is transacting in the world. When he is in the level of jnanam only, at that stage he sees ekatvam anupasyati. He sees oneness. And what is that oneness? I am that only, not some Brahman. I am the same as him, shim, and everything else. Every object is also I am. So that vision is only from the vision of the jnanam, and that he will have when he sits in the seat of meditation and contemplates, and that's called Atmarati. Atmarati means he is reveling in himself by himself, and for him there is nothing else other than himself. Therefore he is seeing one, and therefore all other things have nothing else to do. They are not even, therefore they are called, they are non-existing from his point. But if he comes down and opens his eyes and he is hungry, because the body is hungry, as long as his body, mind and intellect is there, he cannot but transact. If he has to go from one place to another place, he has to go by car or a taxi or a plane. He cannot say, I will go only by walk. Sir, it's too far, you cannot walk. So an intelligent person is understand the reality from the absolute point, at the same time reality at the transactional point. I have to transact, and as I am living in the world, I have to transact. That's why if you want to not to live in this world and just sit in the seat of meditation in the samadhi, where you are not transacting in any world, as long as you are in that state, other people may see you as separate, but for you, you are not. You are reveling in yourself and so on and so forth, and you don't see any difference anymore. But when you come back from samadhi, what do? Oh, I don't see anything. Sir, be careful. There is a fire here and there's water there. Don't step onto the fire. Oh, everything is same. Then you get burned. Body gets burned. So therefore, one has to be careful in terms of the reality from the absolute point. And one more thing. So what is absolutely real? We defined as Trikala Abaditam Satyam. That which remains the same in all periods of time alone is real. And from that reference there is no world. And that's what the Gaudapada says in the Mandukya Karika. It says there is no, called Ajativada. Ajativada means there is no creation even. What is that? Is only Brahman. Where is the creation? So from Brahman point, in fact, there is no creation even. But at the same time, when I come down to the level of creation, so Gaudapada says there is no creation. So how does he say that there is no creation? Be careful. Gaudapada says there is no creation. From what point? From the highest point. The fact that he is able to say that there is no creation, and he is dead, which is different from his statement, there is a difference there. If I know there is no creation, there is no Gaudapada also, there is no Karika also. So the whole can be dismissed also. The fact that there is a Gaudapada and there is a Karika and there is a statements and there are slokas that we learn and study, so-called Ajativada has to be understood is from the point of absolute reality. From that vision, that's called ontological status. Reality differentiate from what status? From the Advaita point, we have Paramarthika Satyam, that is absolute reality. At the transaction level, we have a Vyavaharika Satyam. It's called Satyam. That means real. And at the dream level, or where at the individual subjective level, we have a Pratibhasika Satyam. So we have a Paramarthika and the Vyavaharika and Pratibhasika, which we didn't discuss before about Pratibhasika. We'll go into more details later when we analyze the waking state and the dream state and the deep sleep state. And is also analyzed exhaustively in the Panchadasi text that we have taken. So what is real? Is the world real or not? Depending upon who is asking the question. At the level of transactions, it is real enough for you to transact. At the point of Paramarthika Satyam, though no reality of whatsoever, there is only one. And therefore this statement has no meaning, because who is there to make a statement? And there is no Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also in that state to make a statement. There is nothing there. It's only pointing in that direction. From that reference, there is nothing else. The very fact that Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is able to say that means it's coming at the transactional level only. To whom? To the people who want to know. So all these things have to be very careful, because when you talk about it, from what reference it is, there is one point that has to be clear, because this was raised in the I'm glad they raised, because this is a very important question and it has to be understood clearly. So how do we define the Vyavaharika Satyam or a Pratibhasika Satyam? So Vyavaharika Satyam is real enough for me to transact, but at the same time not real enough that it's not really real. So it is, what do you call it? It is called Sannapya Sanyam, Sannapya Sanna, Ubayat Mekano, Bhinnapya Bhinna, Ubayat Mekano, Sangapya Nanga, Ubayat Mekano, Mahadbhuta, Anirvachaniya Rupa. This is from the Viveka Chudamani, where Shankaracharya says, what is that word? Is it real or not? You can apply it to the ornaments, ring and a bangle also. Is it real or not? It is. You cannot say it is really real. It is not Sat. You cannot say it's not even real. It's not Asat also. So neither Sat nor Asat. And you cannot say both. It is real and unreal. That is contradiction terms. So Sannapya Sanna, Sat or Asat or not. And or you cannot say both. Sannapya Sanna, Ubhayat Mekano, Bhinnapya Bhinna, Ubhayat. Whether it is different from gold, you cannot say. It is different from ornaments, other ornaments, you cannot say. Is it same as other ornaments? Also you cannot say. Why? It is same from the point of gold, but it is different from the point of attributes. Attributes means the ring attributes of ID, OD, the ellipticity are different from a bangle. You cannot say they are same. So attributive content of each ornament is different. So there is a difference. So is there a difference real? No, it's not really real. It's only gold in that form, gold in that form. From the gold point there is no difference. From the ring point there is a difference. In fact, ring is different from a bangle, bangle is different from another ring also. So one fellow went to goldsmith, he is trying to sell off all his gold, and the ring, he says, sir, you have to give me more money for this. So why? He says, there is only so much gold in that. But this is my wedding ring. That's your problem. Your emotional weight for it is different, and that has nothing to do with the gold. The value, it has no value of whether it's a wedding ring or engagement ring or your suffering. That has no value for the ring. The ring is a ring, and how much gold it is, only its value depends on. So one who has the vision of gold, he doesn't see any difference at all. But for the one who is transacting, and the whole world is only transactional world, I have to depend on so many people, so many things and all that, and every day I am feeling hungry and I have to eat, and I have to eat proper food, and that which is supposed to help my nutritious food, all that is important at the transactional level. Don't say they are all same. And even the dream is transactionally real enough for a dreamer while he is in the dream. Careful. Only he says it's not real when he come out of the dream in the wake, when he awake. Oh, the tiger that was not what was chasing me is not real. Who is making a statement? Not the fellow who is trying to save himself from the tiger. In the dream he is running away to save himself. Don't tell him that, hey, this is all only projection of your mind. There is no really tiger and all that. He says, keep your Vedanta, let me save myself. Then afterwards I will listen to your Vedanta. So therefore, Upanishad itself says that in the Mandukya Upanishad, it says there are ekona vimshati mukhaha. So both the same statement is used for a waking as well as the dreamer. He is looking at the world by 19 gateways. Ekonavimsha means one less than 20. So that's all. That means 19 gateways. That means the Panchapranas, 5, 10, the Indriyas, that is 5 Anindriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, and 5 Pranas, and that is 5 plus 5, 15, and 4 is mind, intellect, and Chitta, and the Ahankara. So total 19 gateways is interacting with the world. Same statement is used both the dream as well as the waking world. Ekona vimshati mukhaha. But one is more real than the other. But more real to whom? The dream is not really real only for the waker, but the dream is real and there is no waking world over him. It's only dream world. So therefore, what reference state the reality is being defined has to be clear. From the absolute point, yes, there is no difference of any kind because it is ekameva advitiyam, one without a homogeneous existence pervading the whole universe. And that's what Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi starts with the Saddarshanam, Sat Pratyaya Kinnu Vihaya Santam Hrudyeshu Chintarahito Urdakya Kadan Smarama Tamameyamekam Tasya Smuti Tatra Dudhaiva Nishta. The one who is Dudhaiva, one who is abiding in the knowledge of one, Sat Pratyaha, that which is Kinnu Vihaya Santam. So Santam Vihaya, in order to differentiate this and that, one who sees only pure existence, there is no thinking and not thinking also. There is no differentiate and there is no statements that this is real and that's not real. There is no even statement that from that point there is Modi can see one reality, because from that statement no statements can be made, no words can reach there, and nothing can be. That is what one is to be understood or cognitively one understand, and one can revel in that knowledge as long as one is transacting. One can revel while transacting. In a blink of an minute, I can transact at the same time, keep that mind. A scientist knows that everything is electron, protons, and neutrons, even when differentiating garbage and food. There is no confusion. So knowledge does not make you confused. In fact, I can operate better. And when I was in the Naval Research Lab, we have a lab, and next to my lab is what is that? Garbage disposal, and I don't know, it's a blue planes they call it, but name is called blue plane, where all the garbage is being processed, and it smells terrible there, and they're making gas out of it. And Naval Research Lab use that methane gas that is coming out to make diamonds out of it, because it's nothing but carbon hydrogen is called. So there's a big news in the Naval Research Lab advertisements: diamonds out of the garbage or filthy gas. And what they are doing is transformation of one to other also. But transactionally one aspect, changing is different aspect. One has to be very careful from what reference state we are talking about reality. And each one is real at that. Therefore, Advaita Vedanta says Satyam means reality, but reality is differentiated from Paramarthika Satyam, Vyavaharika Satyam, and Pratibhasika Satyam. and one has to have a clear understanding without any confusion, and therefore all this teaching is at a vyavaharika satyam. The teacher is different and the student is different. Teaching is different and teaching is required. Therefore, Krishna asks you to go to a teacher. Vedanta also says go to a teacher. All that are pertinent. Therefore, we should not get confused from the absolute versus the relative. With that, we will stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.